Welcome to the Junior Symposium of Mrs. Taylor's Advisory.
Yeah. Run, run, run.
Got to college?
Okay, I feel that junior is different in a way that there's a lot of like deadlines you have to meet, a lot of tests you have to take, a lot of tests you have to be prepared for. But also you have to focus on your classes because this is your most important year for college. But compared to last year, I wouldn't say it's that much harder. I would say, you get pushed more, but there's a lot you have to do, of course. That's for every year, but this year, it's a little more challenging, but not as much. Because 10th grade year, I think like you had to keep up with the classes more, but it was less work as opposed to this year. It's a lot more work, but if you get it done, then you can practically like breeze by. But it depends on you and your work ethic.
Well, during class, Mr. Chai lectures us, tells us about our history. But for homework, like we gotta remember the date, the artist, materials they used, period style, just a lot of little things you have to remember. And sometimes, like almost 2 times a week, he tests us on slide IDs and FRQs. And we do that every week, so that's how to see how you're doing. And, yeah.
Study for the slide ID.
Okay, Mr. John.
Adoration of the Magi, International Style, Raw, something.
No, wrong. Didn't answer that.
Well, what someone has to do to survive in art history is like you actually got to do your work, study, do everything you have to do. Because if you start like being lazy and not doing your work, you'll see the results that you're failing and doing bad and falling behind. And if you do your work, you'll do good. It'll be easy.
Study for 10-minute FRQ.
Okay.
Arcade.
6th century BCE, influenced by Egyptians, inherent trade, communication.
I feel good. 'Cause, like, now that I know a lot of stuff about art history, when I go to museums and stuff, it's like I actually know the story behind it and everything. I know materials and I know stuff people don't know. So it's pretty cool.
Cool.
Hello, sophomores. In order for Miss Pamnesia to like you, you gotta be doing your work. For example, look at Miguel doing his work. See the problem he has? She likes people when they do their work. In order for her not to like you, messing around in your iPad, now that's a big situation right there. You're not gonna learn nothing.
Hey, you guys, are you guys doing your work? Yeah. Good job, Raymond. Hector, what was that? Were you playing 2048 on your iPad?
Oh, I'm on Quizlet.
Hector, give me your iPad. I'm taking this away from you, okay? Did you even do your study guide last night?
No.
Why not?
Good.
You know my lectures don't go all the way.
But I have pre-classes.
That's no excuse for not doing your work in my classroom. I'm disappointed in you, Hector.
What not to do in English. Do not try to just look at your lecture notes. That is not all the info you will need. Do not have side conversations with your friends or anyone else. Do not talk back to her when she's trying to tell you what not to do. Do not say inappropriate comments or you will get the detention. You want her on your side, not as your enemy, because she will try to make you pass your test, and she's guiding you for that AP exam.
11th grade, it's really hard, so I think you should just try really hard and do your best because it impacts you a lot throughout your high school. So let's do it.
Another thing to do for Mr. Nars is to do the composition notebook. You have to actually do the notebook in order to pass this class.
Your cat nurse, Oscar. Let's do it. Okay, now study your notes and study that. You have 10 minutes. We're about to take the test.
Steady guy. Notes.
The ACT is actually a pretty hard test when you think about it because it's not like your normal test. It's more standardized, so it's not going to be. The challenge, the questions they're telling you are supposed to be boring, and it's supposed to challenge you and make you doze off. But you have to focus because the readings are going to be like really boring, but you have to go through it, or else you're not going to really answer the questions. And the math, there's a lot of word problems on it, and the writing, you don't even get a good topic, but you need to understand how to structure an essay and talk about it. So a lot of it is really complicated and really set to bore you, and so you really doze off, and that's why they really want to challenge you. So the real challenge is trying to stay focused.
So when you're in the 11th grade, Miss Iloga is like really strict on her deadlines. She'll sometimes put a 0 when they put deadline when the deadline's passed, but she'll accept the work, but you'll still have that 0 as long as you don't turn that work in. So she's very strict on that.
Okay, 10th grade, 11th grade is different than 10th grade because you have a lot of tests, and you have to really take the tests seriously because they do impact you in a way, like the SATs and the ACTs. If you perform really low on them, it looks really bad when you're sending them to colleges, so you have to take everything in consideration.
11th grade is different than 10th grade because it's the year that we start you guys start to start preparing for college because you're not that far away from going into college, so the teachers start Miss Feloga starts to, in her class of college prep, she starts to prepare you guys into going into college, so she teaches you the basics, what you're gonna take, and the tests that you should probably start getting prepared just in case.
Excellent.
Have you seen that Vine song?
Which one? Which one?
The Vine of the girl drinking.
No talking during a test.
We're not talking.
Currently, no cheating. Come outside. Come outside.
What metaphor does O'Brien use to describe his love for Lenny?
You guys on Adobe.
The writing misprint. Why are you leaving?
Don't worry about it.
Go to Mr. G's office.
Eleventh grade is your important year. You gotta make sure you do your stuff. Try to do as much stuff as you can. Get good grades, A's and B's. Colleges look at that, so you gotta make sure you're prepared. You gotta make sure you do good. You do great in your classes. Don't fail. Don't slack off. You gotta make sure you pass. I think it's 10th and 11th grades are the most important years, and so make sure you make this year count. Pass all your APs if you take any APs, and just pass on. Yeah.
Don't screw up.